Hey guys, Bike here, and I'm back again with another Last Epoch video. This one is going to be about my thoughts on crafting in Season 2, and I think it's going to be absolutely cracked. What you guys are seeing right now in the background is just some gameplay I recorded. It is the Voidstorm Hammer build. If you guys are interested in that build, link in the description. We did it in Cycle 1.1, and this is a build I'm looking forward to revisiting in Season 2. All right. Let's get into it. So we had the Season 2 launch trailer, well, go live. And it's been out for a while. You've probably already seen it, and you probably already know what I'm going to be alluding to. But there are, a number of items that are coming to the game that is going to make crafting pretty insane in the membrane. And I didn't release a video on it yet. I was just kind of waiting to see some more info. I was already thinking like, dang, man, crafting's going to be insane. And then there was a recent podcast interview done with Zizaran and Rax. The developers are essentially going on tour. And they talked more about stuff coming in Season 2. And some more crafting was mentioned in the video. So, I feel like with everything I know right now, I know they're going to be doing more podcasts and we don't even have the patch notes out yet, but I feel like with everything that I have seen, feel very comfortable releasing this video and saying, yes, in Season 2, crafting will be cracked. And I think there's a couple of reasons for this. If you've played Last Epoch, you know that builds can take a while to get up off the ground. And that's kind of been the thing, but ever since item factions got introduced, realizing full build power has progressively begun to kind of speed up, so to speak. When you compare a build that was done in beta to a build that has been done in Cycle 1 or Cycle 1.1, the time needed to reach power has shortened. And with Season 2, I think not only is the time going to shorten even more to reach power, I think it will be able to exceed what has been done in the past with crafting. And I think one good reason for it is it sounds like they're really going to commit to, at least the way Judd was saying in their interview, they're really going to commit to the format of 3 to 4 months. This has been something that they have not been able to commit to. It took forever for the game to finally launch, and then when it did, they said 3 to 4 months. Well, Cycle 1.1 didn't come out till about 5.5 months later. That's fine. But then I think you all know the drought that we've been in since. Sure, they had a refresh, but that doesn't count. All right, the event doesn't count. It has been a long time. The builds that I have done since the refresh have been really strong because I've had months to just find gear. And I think I'm going to be able to achieve similar build power in Season 2 in a 3 to 4 month season. I'm going to be safe and go with 4 months. In 4 months, I think some of the builds that I've done, I will be able to do, if not better, with crafting that's coming into the game. And I'm not even talking about the champion affixes, right? I don't know if I fully count those because the champion affixes are always sealed. You can't transfer them onto legendaries. So yeah, you can, quote unquote craft them, but you kind of have to work around it, kind of like an Umber Exalt. So not even. It's kind of weird. So I'm not even really counting champion affixes in this video. So let's go ahead and go over what was revealed in the launch trailer. And I'll have some stuff pop up on screen as it's relevant. And we'll go from there. So starting with the Rune of Havoc. You should be able to see it on screen right now. So the Rune of Havoc, it's going to allow us to shuffle the tiers of non-sealed affixes on an exalted item. So obviously the example that they gave I mean, it's pretty good. Tier 2 strength, tier 7 dexterity, exalt, right? Tier 3 health, tier 2 endurance. You're going to be able to shuffle this around. So, you know, you find your, you find like that perfect 24. I'm going to use attributes in this case. That you find that perfect tier 7. It's a 24 intelligence, right? Intelligence is whatever, but you're playing a strength build. And you happen to get some strength on there, and you happen to get health. All the rolls are great, except it's 24 intelligence. And you think to yourself, you know what? If I can shuffle this around, what if I can get that tier 7 to go onto one of the healths? Or even onto the strength. Sure, it won't necessarily be, you know, quote unquote, perfect, but 3 out of 4 stats ain't bad. And like, let's say this is like early on in the season, like that could be pretty powerful, not gonna lie. Instead of having to go out there and keep looking, this is really gonna change my loot filters for sure. I've been playing in Circle of Fortune with some pretty strict loot filters. I think now I could just look for anything that has tier 7 attribute, right? Like if I picked up a tier 7 intelligence and I'm playing a strength build, it's like, okay, cool. I might consider stashing it, but now I'm going to be looking purposely for these T7s with something like a Rune of Havoc. It does take forging potential. They confirmed that in the interview. And yeah, I think this is going to be a pretty good rune to have. Judd did say that this is going to have about the same rarity as a Rune of Ascendance. So I'm hoping that, you know, for the Circle of Fortune lovers like myself out there, that we can actually target these runes through the Circle of Fortune like we do the Runes of Creation and so on. All right, let's move on to the next one. So that was the Rune of Havoc. Now we are moving on to the Rune of Redemption. Randomly changes the exalted affixes on an item into different affixes. Does not change the tiers. So this is yet another reason to just pick up T7 affixes. Oh, look at this. I found T7 fire resistance. You ever been there before? Oh, look at this. Tier 7 fire resistance. Well, you use a Rune of Redemption and hey, it's a suffix. It becomes a tier 7 fill in the blank, but it could be tier 7 health. It could be tier 7 endurance. That one has its applications, but you get what I'm going with, right? You know, the lousy tier 7 fire resistance becomes insert affix. I think this one will also be very powerful. I could also see this one being pretty useful for merchants, for the Merchants Guild. If you guys didn't know, even though I'm a big Circle of Fortune lover, I recently went back into Cycle and played some Merchants Guild, and you know, certain T7 affixes are you can just buy or even get for free, but then, you know, like the juicy ones that you're looking for, right? The your T7 intelligence, your T7 health, though even on certain item bases, those ones are kind of hard to come by. And you have to cough up a pretty penny. Imagine buying, like, let's say you're playing, I don't know, a Torment Warlock, and you buy a Ivory Rain with T7 strength, right? Obviously you want intelligence, but T7 strength. Yeah, with the two runes that we've already looked at, the Rune of Redemption and the Rune of Havoc, if you had intelligence on there, so like let's say you had T5 intelligence and T7 strength, and you're able to use the Rune of Havoc to switch around the tiers, or use a Rune of Redemption to just roll that strength off for, hey, you know, maybe we'll get something else. I like the fact that this one changes the exalted affixes. So this one can also be very strong for the double or triple exalted affixes that you find that, you know, like one of them's good, but the other two are just absolute trash, right? Obviously, you might lose the good one, but nonetheless, it's kind of cool to see what you can get. It makes some of those drops a little bit more exciting. And I like the fact that these aren't just going to be raining from the sky. Like, you still have to put some thought into it, but I think this will definitely be pretty powerful. The Rune of Redemption is looking pretty tasty. Okay, let's move on to the next one. We got the Rune of Weaving. So, if you guys have ever used Weaver's Will items and you know you gotta put it on and use it and then turns out, well, it's garbage anyway. The Rune of Weaving, I think, will be very, very good for the game. Honestly, just especially if you don't have a lot of time. Sometimes those Weaver's Will items, you'll start to use them, and like it takes a while to get your first affix. Like even if you're just blasting, it takes like 10-15 minutes, and then you realize, oh wait, that's an affix that will just absolutely do nothing for my build. Most of the time, one affix won't do that for you. It's after you find your third affix and you've already spent through quite a bit of Weaver's Will that you're like, yeah, this is kind of bricked. This is going to save us so much time to be able to transform some of the Weaver's Will to at least get it started for you, you know? Like, let's say you're starting a new build, and you know you want to use the Weaver's Will boots, right? What is it? Advent of the Erased or something. And you already want that movement speed because you don't want to be walking around like a turtle. So let's say you have 10 pairs of Weaver's Will boots. You've been farming. You're getting ready for this, right? You've been blasting. And so you just take the 10 pairs of boots, use one Rune of Weaving, and be like, did it get movement speed right off the rip? Nope, save it for later. Did it get movement speed right off the rip? Nope, save it for later. Did it get movement speed right off the rip? You know what I mean? You know, like that one affix to help get it going, to make it manageable. And then you can decide to use more Runes of Weaving after that, or you could just use it because it's got the one affix. You already know, right? So I think this would be really good. They also did mention, this is going to tie into the Rune of Weaving. They did mention that idol crafting is coming to the game in the interview. And the way the idol crafting will work is it will work like a Weaver's Will system. And that you'll be able to do this through the tombs of the erased, or the cemeteries. Forgive me if if I'm getting that one wrong, but you'll be able to craft an idol with you'll be using these resources on it, and you'll be able to get this Weaver's Will potential on there, and then you can even use a Rune of Weaving on it, if I'm understanding that correctly. If I'm not understanding that properly, forgive me. But I think it will be it'll be pretty good. It will be pretty good. So those are the 3 runes coming to the game that I think are going to make this the whole crafting in Last Epoch cracked in season 2. But there's a little bit more. So we didn't exactly know what this was going to do. This should be appearing on screen right now. But the Forge of Shattering. What this is going to do is allow us to break down not legendary set items, and we weren't exactly sure what set crafting was going to look like. They said set crafting coming to the game, and then it showed them breaking down set items. But in the interview, they were speaking with the developer. I believe their name was Holly. When they were talking to Holly confirmed that when you break down the set items, you will get these set affixes, if I'm understanding that correctly, and you will be able to craft onto gear these set affixes. And when you do that, that piece of gear will become a set item in that set. So I still don't know if it needs to be like. So let's use the Forgotten Knights set, because that's a set I've actually used in an in-game build before. So let's say you take the Forgotten Knights shield and you break it down and you get these affixes, right? can you put that onto any piece of gear, or can you only put that onto a shield? I'm thinking you can only put that onto a shield, and it makes sense. So you'll be able to take a normal shield, let's say Exalted, right? Why waste your time? So let's just say you could take an Exalted shield and put an affix from the Forgotten Knight set onto this shield, and then it will become a piece of the Forgotten Knight set, which will then give you access to the Forgotten Knight set bonuses. I think it could be pretty good for some builds, especially, Forgotten Knight set. If you get all 3 pieces, you'll be able to get more void damage per stack of Time Rod, if I'm remembering that correctly. I always used it for the 2 set, right? I always used it for the void dot builds with Time Rod. I'm really excited about that. So I'm assuming that's how it works. So shield for shield, amulet for amulet, weapon for weapon, so on and so forth. I think that's going to bring a lot of variety. Now, I believe they confirmed that you will not be able to, what was it? You won't be able to put these set affixes onto uniques and do like legendary set. No. It can only be onto a craftable item, is from what I understand. But yeah, I think it's gonna make I don't think this is gonna it's gonna make sets more useful, in my opinion. I don't think it's gonna become this is best in slot, end all be all. Some of these uniques are pretty cracked, right? I think this is very, very good, right? Like, I feel like this is the good happy medium between sets being best in slot. If you use anything but a set, you're a psycho. Insert Diablo 3, right? I mean, don't get me wrong. I know there was a couple builds in Diablo 3 that didn't use sets, but nonetheless, for the most part, if you weren't using sets in Diablo 3, rip. So, yeah, I think this is a good happy medium between what they were, which was, except for like a set item that was good, like Isidore's binding for the belt. There was very few like set items that ever made it into in-game builds. They were typically for leveling. So I think this is good. And Circle of Fortune, you probably don't have to filter out set items in your loot filters anymore. Yeah, this is good. All right, and we got one final piece right here. We are going to be able to re-roll uniques. Guys, I don't know if they talked about this fully in the video, so forgive me. But from what I understand, let's just read what it says. It should be on screen for you right now. Offer a unique legendary, a legendary, or a weaver's will or set item as a sacrifice to the weaver, so that she may re-roll another matching item according to her design. The weaver will only accepts sacrifices of equal or higher potential tier. So I'm guessing if I want to re-roll this 3LP Palaris, that I'm going to have to offer a 3LP Palaris as well. At that point, I don't think that's worth, but this is going to be probably worth for a few items. Palaris is just an example. Honestly, Palaris might be a really good example because that's something that you can get a lot of, has a lot of legendary potential, right? Low LP level. So you will be able to find a 3LP Palaris, whether be it Merchant's Guild or Circle of Fortune, pretty easily. So you might not necessarily be too upset about sacrificing one to make it look better, but I can definitely see this being useful for non-LPs, right? So you take the non-LP and you sacrifice it to make your other non-LP better, and then you put that into the Nemesis, and then cross your fingers and hope for legendary potential, or you get the affix that you're looking for. I could see that being there. Like I said, the possibilities are pretty much endless here. I think this will be really good. Like, you're going to be able to get better uniques in those slots faster, especially for those uniques that you come across a lot that find their way into builds like Twisted Heart. Guys, Twisted Heart? Imagine just like playing Merchants Guild. I'm pretty sure people are going to know how this system will work, and they're not just going to, you know, like if you've ever played Merchants Guild and you've purchased a Twisted Heart, you'll just see, I'm not gonna say they're dirt cheap, but you're gonna find the, you know, the 5% of current health and all that at a lower price. At a excuse me, at a lower price than you would your 8% of current health being converted. So yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty good. I think it's gonna be pretty good. Like, what's gonna be brought to the game, like the amount of crafting potential here is just gonna be off the chain. Anyway, guys, that is my well, kind of long video on why I think crafting will be cracked in season 2. Thank you so much for being here, guys. If you like what I do, possibly subscribe. We are getting close to 1,000 subscribers, and I am so excited. I am so looking forward to April 2nd. I have a week off. I have a week off for April 2nd. So if you're watching this in the past, and it's close to April 2nd, hey, see you in a couple days. If it's after April 2nd, check out the live streams or check out the past live streams or come by the live streams. I stream on Twitch and YouTube. Information available in the description down below. All right, you guys take care. Peace out.